7:30, give or take a minute, and it is Tuesday, February 15th. We're here for our regularly scheduled city council meeting. We're really happy that you're here. We have exciting things on the agenda tonight. We're going to begin by calling this meeting to order. We're also going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to all stand for our words of inspiration from Pastor Stephen Traxel from the Great Grace Apostolic Church. Go.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Lord, we're so thankful today for this day that you've given to us. We will honor you and bring glory to you for what you've done for us. You've been such a blessing to us. Lord, you've given us our breath and our body, and with that we praise you. Lord, I ask for a special blessing upon this service tonight, upon this meeting. I pray that you touch our mayor, our council members, those that are part of this wonderful meeting. I pray that you bless our first responders, our officers that give their life for us to protect this city. I pray, Lord, that we would honor you in all things. I pray that you'd give us a spirit of unity in this place. I pray that we'd follow after your leading, that we might see a blessing come upon our city. We're so thankful for the blessings you've placed upon the city. We're asking, Lord, that you would continue to guide us and lead us through all that we do. We want to honor you in all of our decisions that we make. We give you the praise and glory for all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Traxel. You may all be seated. Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan.
I am here.
Councilmember Anderson.
here.
Councilmember Sampson.
Here.
Councilmember Shepard. Here. That is a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Great. First thing we're going to do is approve our agenda. Take a motion.
Mayor, I move the agenda be approved as presented.
Second it.
Roll call, please.
Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepard.
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. Our agenda has been approved. We will now move on to public comment for items on the agenda. If anyone here in the room would like to come to the podium and would like to speak, you may do so. We will give you 3 minutes. We'd like you to state your name. These are for items that are on the agenda. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Okay, thank you. We'll move on from that. And the next thing will be consideration of approving the following consent agenda. Minutes of the regular city council meeting held on Tuesday, February 1st, 2022 as presented. Minutes of the special city council meeting held on Tuesday, February 7th, 2022 as presented. We are going to remove the appointment of Joseph Godoff to the Downtown Development Authority for until a future meeting, sorry about that. And we also, on the consent agenda, would be the list of bills as presented in the amount of $425,056.60.
Need a motion to remove.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That would be.
Madam Mayor, I move that we amend the consent agenda to remove item C to a future meeting.
I'll support that.
Mayor Milan.
Yep.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepard.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Is removed.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion to approve the rest of the agenda? As
Mayor, I move the consent agenda be approved as amended.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepard.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes, so our bills have already been paid, and we have now approved 2 city council meeting minutes from previous meetings. Next thing on the agenda is, sorry, yeah, my paper looks weird. This is my problem. I have 2 different pages and they don't line up. So we are going to presentation and proclamations, right?
Oh, I see. Fresh one?
Yeah. That's-
Should be Taylor.
Yeah, that's not on mine. See how weird
an
that
old
is?
No, it's not.
No, it is not an old one. It's probably the one I printed that someone
here.
changed it since then. Okay, so sorry about that. We'll get this. This is exciting. We're going to do presentations and proclamations, and we're always excited when we can meet our new staff members. First one up is the introduction of Taylor Bouchard, Administrative Clerk in the Treasurer's Office, and I can tell you from personal experience that Taylor is amazing. She's cheery, just like you see right now, upbeat, pleasant, and I'm taking the thunder away from you. Go ahead.
We're done. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. This is Taylor Bouchard, our new administrative clerk for the city of Clawson. Taylor grew up in Bay City, Michigan. However, she was born in Tennessee. Taylor has been with the Treasurer's Office since November. Thank you. Taylor comes from a previous banking background where she worked for 5 years in the Bay Area and the city of Troy, where she became the lead teller as a banker in Troy. Her coworkers and her supervisor described her as a very good worker, detail-oriented, meticulous, dependable, and a great personality, everything that the city of Clawson enjoys and needs. She's exactly what we're looking for. She's progressing very well, and we are very pleased she is with us. Thank you for allowing us this time to introduce her this evening, and everyone please welcome Taylor.
Well, welcome to Clawson.
Thank you.
Tanner, you want to share any words with us? Don't hate
Put me on the spot there. I'm just saying I'm very happy to be here, and I really like my job here. So, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Next up on the agenda, our police chief, Scott Sarvello, is going to come forward and introduce police officers Jacob Worth, Michael Fowler, Dmitry Nikolov, Ashraf Ibrahim, Qasim Beydoun. Chief Sarvello?
You did pretty well with those names for the first run at it.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with names like this from work. Sorry, I know I messed up a couple, but.
That's all right. So I'm proud to introduce several new officers. Obviously, the law enforcement profession going through some tough times right now, countrywide hiring crisis. You see it on the news every day. So luckily, my staff works very hard to recruit. We've found several qualified individuals who are fitting in very well with our department. 4 of them tonight have already started, and the 5th one will be starting next Tuesday. So 4 of them will be taking their oath of office again tonight as ceremonial because they already been sworn in and certified in the law enforcement field. And then Mr. Beydoun will be actually taking his oath of office for the first time. And like I said, we'll start next Tuesday on day shift. First, I would like to introduce Officer Jacob Worth.
So I'm going to interject right here. If you're here with any of these people, come right in front of me and get your photos, please. We want to make sure you have something great to share for later.
Why don't we turn them this way, and then they can take a picture of the seal and everything.
Yeah, I'll do a quick intro, then August is going to administer the oath. Like I said, this is Jacob Worth. Jacob graduated from the Combe Police Academy December of 2020 after receiving a bachelor's degree from Ferris State University in criminal justice. Jacob started with us October 12th and is currently assigned to the midnight shift. He has already completed his field training program of 14 weeks and is progressing very well on his own. He had previous experience in the summer of 2021 with the city of Traverse City, doing public relations and a bike patrol duty up there during the summer. He also did an internship with Grosse Pointe Farms. His references describe him as intelligent, responsible, helpful, hardworking, considerate, respectful, and a family person. Jacob, like I say, he's progressing very well and has been a great addition to the department, and we look forward to a long career, and we're happy that he entered into the field of law enforcement. Like I say, it is a tough field right now, but because of the men and women dedicated to it, I'm proud to have him on board. Jacob?
Okay. How you doing? I'm Officer Worth, and they said, I started here back in October. I appreciate the opportunity. It's nice to meet all of you here. My brother and my parents came here to accompany me here today. So once again, I appreciate your guys' time. Thanks so much.
Thank you for being here. Would you like to get a photo with your brother and your
Okay,
family?
we're doing this again? All right. All right.
Okay. Okay, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Clawson Police Officer
of the Office of Clawson Police Officer
in and for the City of Clawson,
in and for the City of Clawson,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
I've read like 50 of these in the past that have a different line at the end from a different city, so I keep waiting to say another word. That's why I had the wrong pronunciation. We got it right when we did it at the office made it official, though.
Not really a stickler for these things, for a good reason.
And I want to introduce Judge Mark Kavanaugh from the Michigan Court of Appeals. In the front row, he's a family friend of Mr. Baydoun. I just wanted to let everyone know he is in the audience in attendance tonight.
Radio 92 is Fire Lake Mention, please.
Ready, Michael? All right, our next officer is Officer Michael Fowler. Michael graduated the Oakland Police Academy in 2009 after receiving an associate's degree in criminal justice, along with 2 other degrees from the Oakland Community College. Michael started with us November 9th, 2021, and is currently assigned to the day shift after completing the field training program of 14 weeks as well, and is progressing very well. Michael has plenty of experience behind him. He has worked for Cadillac PD, Caro PD, and most recently 2 years at East Point PD before coming to us. His references describe him as motivated, intelligent, diligent, polite, respectful, trustworthy, and methodical. I would like the mayor and council to meet Officer Michael Fowler.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for service.
Ready to do this again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Stop calling me sir. Shoes don't make me that important. Okay, raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Clawson Police Officer
of the Office of Clawson Police Officer
in and for the City of Clawson,
in and for the City of Clawson,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
and State of Michigan,
and State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Welcome aboard again.
Pictures?
Yeah, I don't know. Come over here for photos. Feel free to move where you can get great photos.
Right in front of us.
Stand in front of me, like, this is the spot, right here. Yeah. Don't be shy.
I want to see him jump over.
I bathed today, you can certainly.
No.
No.
We're not the issue. We're not the item of importance here.
Thanks.
Anywhere you want.
This is Officer Dmitry Nikolov. Dmitry graduated from the Macomb Police Academy December of 2021, so a very recent graduate. He went there after receiving an associate's degree in criminal justice from the Macomb Community College. He started January 4th of this year with us and is currently assigned to the afternoon shift. He is progressing well. He is in the midst of his field training program in week 5. So he has several weeks to go. The field training officers that have worked with him to this point are impressed with his ability, his learning ability, and his effort that he's putting forth. His references described him as level-headed, smart, a voice of reason, helpful, and hard worker. I would like to introduce Officer Dmitry Nikolov.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. Ready? Yes, sir. Okay, we'll do this again. Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of the state,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Clawson Police Officer
of the Office of Clawson Police Officer
in and for the City of Clawson,
in and for the City of Clawson,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
and State of Michigan,
and State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
You're welcome. Thank you. there. Signing of the oath. Take as many pictures
Yeah,
as you
take-
want. You want them? Come on up.
Yeah, do it. Come on up and take
Yeah, come on up,
pictures.
take
You can only do
pictures
this
if you want.
once.
Whoever wants.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, we have time. No, don't worry about that. Go up, take a picture.
I want a picture.
Yeah, come on.
I'll take of you two first and then you and me.
Perfect.
You want to do all three?
Yeah, do.
It's nice of you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Next, I have Officer Ashraf Ibrahim. Already has a nickname of Astro. When he went to the uniform shop and he said his name, she thought he said Astro. She asked him to confirm it. She thought he confirmed it, so the bills were coming in to Astro Ibrahim. So in law enforcement, you get a nickname in the locker room somehow, some way anyway, but his came made by non-uniform, so that's what we're going with. It is what it is. Can't get away from it. It's on the bills. So, all right. Ashraf graduated from the Oakland Police Academy in 2018 after receiving an associate's degree in criminal justice from the Oakland Community College. He had previous experience almost a year with Dearborn PD. He started with us January 25th and is currently assigned to the midnight shift, trying to adjust to his sleep pattern. He is progressing well. Like I say, he is in week 3, correct? Starting week 4. His references described him as honest, dependable, trustworthy, thoughtful, intelligent, analytical, patient, and a cultured, educated person. Yeah, you paid somebody well. With him is one of his biggest fans. Dean, where are you? You have to come up here with your dad. So I gave Dean a badge today as well, so Dean will take the oath of office along with his father tonight.
Aw.
So who's ever taking pictures, if you
come
could
on
really
up,
get some
brother.
good ones, that would be great.
Gentlemen?
No, you-
Get in front of the podium. We can see him. Right here, young man. There you go. Okay. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. There you go. That's the right one. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office
of the office
of Clawson Police Officer
of Clawson Police Officer
in and for the City of Clawson,
in and for the City of Clawson,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
and State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
This is for you. Signature up there.
This is future police officer Kasem Beydoun, who will start next Tuesday on the day shift. He is the newest of the 5, obviously, and I have no idea how his family got the front row out of everybody, but they did. They filled both sides. Yep. Kasem graduated the Wayne County Regional Police Academy December of 2019 after receiving an associate's degree from Henry Ford College. He also has previous experience with Dearborn PD. Kasem will start February 22nd. Like I said, he will spend his first few shifts on days completing paperwork, meeting with human resources, the fun stuff, and doing some online training. He will then be assigned to a field training officer and will rotate shifts along with the 14-week program that everybody else is currently doing. His references described him as loyal, trustworthy, hardworking, dedicated, reliable, considerate, respectful, and that he has core values. And like I said, he does have a friend of the family who is on the Michigan Court of Appeals. So I welcome.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for having me.
Judge Swearman.
This is your first one. Both sides. It'll be the official ones, okay? We gotta get there first. Okay? All right.
August, why don't we have the judge swear him in?
That's true.
That's fine. I still gotta sign it, though.
That's all right. Let the judge do it.
Sir?
We're putting you to work, Judge Kavanaugh.
Judge, do you want me to tell the story how tonight began?
If you tell the truth, yeah.
I'm going to tell the truth. So earlier this evening, I was walking back from the high school basketball game, and I was coming from the high school to the police station. Everybody knows the street behind here is a one-way street. As I'm coming across the street, there are headlights going southbound. So I stopped the car, stand in front of it, and just to advise that it's a one-way street. The judge kindly tells me, I know. I am trying to get to a police officer swearing in, and I need to get to that building. So I gave him directions, and he made it here safely. So.
Well done.
Oh, you expect me to do this?
So did you change the sign?
Case and repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
the Charter of the City of Clawson,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Clawson Police Officer,
that I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office
of the office
of the Clawson Police Officer
of the Clawson Police Officer
in and for the City of Clawson,
and for the City of Clawson,
County of Oakland,
and
State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
That's it. All right. Yeah, I know, a lot of prepositions.
Thank you, sir.
How many police officers we got in the city?
I don't know.
Hey, Chief?
Are we doing a photo? Are we doing a group photo before they all disperse?
Well, we're going to go into here. I mean, if you want it up front with all of them and you, that's fine.
That'd be awesome,
Yeah.
wouldn't
See
it?
you this weekend. Come see us for HR stuff.
Hey, Chief, how many police officers we got in the city?
We're supposed to have 17. We're one short, so we're still in the process. But unfortunately, it's worldwide, right? I mean,
Got a lot of rookies.
yeah. Yeah. I already got gray hair, but it's giving the other officers gray hair.
Old Sheriff Payne.
I have to get into this picture?
Come on in.
Oh, yeah. We supposed to punch in?
Yeah, we'll bunch them.
Scott's pushing the other way.
Yeah.
Everybody ready?
Congratulations, you guys. Taking this career, we need this.
You could get your families. We'll go in the community room for a few more photos, please.
Is there cake in there? Save me one. So that was a beautiful thing to experience for this community, to know that we have all these young people who are willing to come here and serve for us and to make our community better. And we wish them safety and healthy careers. So next thing we have on the agenda would be new business and public hearings. Oh, wait, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Introduction.
I'm so
Introduction to
confused.
charter.
We're going to do an introduction of the charter, introduction and update from the Charter Commission, which is also equally exciting because we've heard Charter Commission, Smart Charter Commission. Now we're going to see the Charter Commission, those who were able to come this evening, and we're going to get a little update on what has been transpiring to date. So thank you to those of you who were able to make it tonight. You're welcome.
We got a quorum.
Nicely done.
All right. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Laura Slowinski. I live on Coolidge Avenue and I've been a resident here in Clawson for over 45 years. Tonight I am here to introduce the Charter Commission members who were elected to update our city charter. There are 9 of us on the commission, and I will be introducing the commissioners who are here tonight. After the introductions, I will be giving an update on what we have been doing. Our goal is to come to the city council meetings every 3 months to give updates on our progress. We invite everyone to attend our meetings here at the City Hall every second and fourth Tuesdays at 6:30 in the community room. Most of the meetings have been recorded on the City of Clawson YouTube channel, and now we are working on live streaming them on the new City of Clawson Charter Commission YouTube channel. So again, my name is Laura Slowinski, and I am the Charter Commission Chair. The Charter Commission Vice Chair is not able to be with us tonight, but his name is B.T. Irwin. Now I would like to introduce to you the other fabulous commissioners. So we have David Bolin.
Fabulous David Bolin.
Dan Dwyer.
Equally fabulous.
Samantha Hanser Maynard.
Also fabulous.
Joe Marucci.
Extremely fabulous.
Tracy Nasri.
Apparently outstandingly fabulous as well.
And then there's Wayne O'Neill and Talia Parker, who wasn't able to be here tonight. So thank you to all of the voters and for the commissioners for all of their hard work that we've done so far and that we will be doing. So here are our updates. We've had 5 meetings so far, and we have completed the following. We have established city email accounts. We have elected our commission officers. We've decided on the meeting locations and times. We decided against receiving any compensation. We created our bylaws. And the meeting packets, agendas, and approved meeting minutes have been added to the Documents on Demand website and will continue to be updated. The following items are in progress. We are collecting our biographies and pictures to be added to the city website.
Get on that, guys. Okay.
We have 3 or 4 so far, August?
4.
4.
There's
okay.
9 of you.
Okay. We are preparing a budget for the 2022 and 2023 fiscal year. And there will be workshops in the future taking place once we have found our attorney, who we are currently looking for. All of us would like to give a huge thank you to August, to Nick, and to the rest of the staff for their help in getting us started. We look forward to serving the city of Clawson, and we will be back in May for another update. So thank you very much for inviting us here.
Appreciate it. Thank you very, very
Thank
much.
you very, very much. If anyone else has any comments they'd like to make, feel free. I see that tiptoeing out of here. Very smooth. And you guys were fabulous, weren't they, everyone? Fabulous? Come on. Show some love. Thank you for that. It was nice to put faces and names together and hear the many things you've accomplished in a really short period of time. So we were going to have a presentation by Interim Department of Public Works Superintendent Trevor Zabalaki on tree trimming. This came about because a couple of residents were really concerned over the state of the trees in the park as they are all being trimmed. And they've created a little bit of shock and awe. And we had requested Trevor come and share the plan for the tree trimming and the growth planting that's going to take place. But apparently he's not able to be with us tonight, so we'll come back and address it at another time. So number 9 would be public hearings, and as we have none, we will move on to new business. The first thing on new business would be consideration of a request from the Clawson 4th of July Committee to conduct their annual events.
Madam Mayor, I move that the request by the Clawson 4th of July Committee to hold the annual events celebrating 4th of July be approved.
Second.
Great. So I think we have representatives from the 4th of July Committee. Why don't you please come up and share what's going on this year. We're so excited to have that back on the calendar and have real live events again.
Yes, we will have real live events again. As you know, we haven't done it for well, we did do it last year with just a small portion of stuff. By the way, I'm Michael Paquette. And this is,
Pam Weaver.
Pam Weaver.
Secretary,
And-
President.
right, acting president. Anyway, we did have a little bit last year, nothing the year before, as we all know. This year, we'd like to put it all back together, and we're asking your help with the DPW, the police, and of course, the city use of the lot and everything in the park. So we're definitely having all of our, the kiddie parade, the band concert, 5K Freedom Run, concessions along with Carnival, City Park, and we have our Firecracker Mile, the big parade, of course, arts and crafts, and we finish it all with fireworks at around 10:30 at night. They last about 40 minutes. So we're excited to have this back working again.
We're glad to have you back.
Thank you. Any questions for us?
How about tell us what you need? This is a volunteer-intensive event, and the more volunteers, probably the better and easier it is for all of you. So if you want to put a plug for anybody who may or may be listening out there, and maybe you could get some fresh blood for helping this year.
Gates.
Yeah, we're definitely always in need, especially the last week before. During the course of the year, we just meet, in small groups, of course. And, but yeah, for the last week is when we need a lot of people. We need people for the parade, the parade marshals. We need people to run our gates to collect money because we do charge $2 per person to walk in. So we run everybody in 2-hour shifts. I'm not sure if we need people for the runs. There's always a need for stuff like that.
Yeah.
We need bodies.
There's lots of opportunities too.
Yeah.
And we'll be posting things on different, websites and things like that too, asking for volunteers.
So is there a place people can go now to connect with you if they are thinking today they might want to be a volunteer so you don't lose them? Do you have a website or a phone number or something, email they
Yeah,
could
there's
send things to?
the Clausen 4th of July .com, I think it is, website. And then we also have our Facebook as well.
Definitely Facebook
Yeah.
page.
Okay.
And we meet on the second Wednesday, 7:30. We've been, in the past, met right here at the City Hall, but we've been doing virtual like everyone else these days. So they can always tap into that. And usually our webpage is the best way to go through it.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
No, thanks for coming.
All right, thank you for having
so
us.
much. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
I am shocked that passed.
We're excited.
Notice that I paused, so I didn't say what I wanted to say, just for the record.
Point taken.
Just kidding, I'm
I'm
teasing.
sorry.
I'm teasing. That's good. Next thing on the agenda would be consideration of receiving and filing the 2021 Planning Commission Annual Report for the City of Clausen. Is someone here to present? Yes, you
Joseph.
are. Sorry, I didn't see you back there.
Need a motion first.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just want to make a motion.
Mayor, I move
That's
the
one.
2021 Planning Commission Annual Report for the City of Clausen be received and filed with the city clerk.
Support.
Roll call?
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Passes. Accepted.
Joe, it's all your show.
Okay, so the annual report is just a statutory requirement for the Planning Commission. They summarize what they did and send the annual report to council for its acceptance, essentially. So it's not really all that complex. It's just a nice summary of every review that they released, or that they did last year, and what was on all their agendas, all the zoning amendments that they worked on, et cetera.
I'm assuming there are a few highlights from the Planning Commission. I know, having served on it, there are a lot of very similar meetings, but I'm sure there are a few items that you took on this past year that would be worth noting.
Sure. In particular, when we talk about zoning ordinance amendments, we did a major overhaul of the landscaping standards. It was kind of long overdue. And we also spent a lot of time dealing with cannabis, as you're probably aware. And we did adopt some regulations for primary caregivers after quite a bit of discussion. On the development review front, the largest thing was probably the planned unit development on North Main. Not that it was very large, but that was probably the most notable project. A lot of other small renovations and things dominated a lot of the other plan review that we did. We also worked on a master plan update, which is coming back to the Planning Commission in March after being out for comment, and that is pertaining to the 2 school sites. Oh, and the other thing, the Sustainability Committee got going last year.
Yep.
Our chair, planning chair, Greg Kucera is here. Greg, did you want to weigh in on any of your accomplishments for the past year?
All going well.
All right, all going well is, we'll take that, right? Good to know. All right, any questions for Joe?
Any highlights for anything upcoming?
Upcoming, well, like I said, we've got that master plan update coming back. We have the next item on your agenda tonight, which will be a big deal for the Planning Commission because it's going to make their zoning ordinance easier to use. We don't have much in the development hopper at the moment, but you never know when the dam's going to burst. This is kind of the down time of year. I expect in the spring we'll start seeing some more plans.
Just comment on the 2 major projects that have, at least one had opened and the other one that's nearing completion. Weiss Distillery is phenomenal.
It's open.
And then the Ace Hardware project, I think, is going really well.
It's getting close now, yeah. Yep.
So.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Then we will move on to the next item, which you
Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Wanting to share with us, which would be consideration of the introduction and first reading of the clear zoning ordinance as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Mayor, I move the clear zoning ordinance be introduced and entered into first reading.
Support that.
Roll call.
Present first,
Oh,
and
that's
then
true.
whichever way you want to go. Usually you present and then vote. So.
Okay. That would make sense.
I'm actually going to put it up on the screen because I've got it right here, and we might as well use all this lovely technology we've got. So this is the clear zoning ordinance. Well, that's the cover of it anyway. Basically, what we did is we took your existing ordinance and it was reorganized into a somewhat more digestible format. And it's still a zoning ordinance, but it was also reformatted into a PDF file, so anyone with a computer or phone or anything can get the software to use it for free. And the PDF file is fully linked within the document, so you can easily, let's say I want to go to Article 3 zoning districts, I can just click on it in the table of contents, and then I want to go to the O2 office district, so I can click on that in the table of contents there, and see all the different provisions that apply to that district. And if I wanted to do an administrative office in the O2 district, I can click right on that use, and it takes me to the standards for that use, which is section 434 there. If I want to know what I have to do when I'm developing my site, all the site standards are grouped together in this Article 5 here. So we've got parking and landscaping and lighting and all that stuff all grouped together in a nice organized way. The definitions section, we've updated all of the illustrations in there. So when we're looking at, say, our lot line definitions or just the types of lots that we have in the city, we've got a nice clear illustration that shows you here's what a corner lot is, here's what an interior lot is, this is what a double frontage lot is. During this project, we weren't changing any of the provisions of the ordinance. We've done a lot of that otherwise, as we've gone along over the last few years. But in this case, it was really taking what you've got and making it into a much more user-friendly document. So if there's anything you'd like me to highlight, or if you have any questions, I'm certainly happy to address any of that. But that's the basics of the document.
Is everything in there now?
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's ready to go. The only thing that hasn't been done, because we don't do this until after adoption, is there's an interactive zoning map. So when you're in this document, the zoning map is in here. You can get to it from the bottom of any page. There it is. But this little button right here, interactive zoning map, will take you to an actual website that's got the map on it, and you can click on any parcel and get the zoning information for that parcel. And go, you can go to the ordinance to learn all the standards for that district.
Do you need to log in or anything to get in there?
No, it's completely open to the public.
Any other questions?
No, I just, once it's on the website, is there any standard tutorial or any initial?
Actually, the tutorial's built right into it. We have an entire section up front called How to Use This Ordinance. And it's several pages long, and it kind of tells you here's what all the elements of the page are. So what these links down at the bottom of the page mean, because they take you around the ordinance to the table of contents, to the use matrix, to the zoning map, and they kind of illustrate what all the symbols mean. They give you some kind of tips for how to use the ordinance effectively. And the other nice thing is some people still do like to work on paper. This ordinance prints out in exactly the same layout and format that it is in the digital version. So,
As opposed to the way the Municode does it?
Right, the page flow, you don't know what the page flow is going to be when you print out the Municode version. So in this case, if you print it double-sided, it'll look exactly like this PDF on the screen.
Looks good.
Yeah. Technology.
Okay, thank you, Joe, for your time, for
you're
your hard
welcome.
work.
Joe,
Thank
this
you.
gets published for a public hearing and acceptance like a regular ordinance, even though it's not a big change. It's treated like an ordinance.
Right.
So this will come back the next meeting after public hearing to accept it, just so you
That's
don't,
right.
when you see it come back again, like, we just did this. No. They couldn't paste it, huh?
Yeah, all the section numbers are changing, so yeah.
Oh,
gotta
the
do
section
that.
numbers, okay,
Yep.
so that's the change.
No, this is first reading, so yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Thanks.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
I'll move forward with publishing that for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe, for your time
Thank
this
you, guys.
evening.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.
Next item on the agenda is discussion of approving the agreement between Joseph Raker and the city of Clawson to become the next city manager. So we all received a contract this past week to review. Assuming our city attorney met with, took Mr. Raker's notes and desires and wishes and then put them together in a document. I'm assuming that's what happened because we haven't had any conversation.
I'm
So-
happy to update you, Madam Mayor.
Oh, thanks. I was not quite finished, but, so, with that, tonight, we're going to review the offer that was presented and then provide our input on what we find acceptable and not acceptable, and then you will go back, Mr. Nishai, and present whatever offer there is, so you may speak now.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, members of council, you are correct, Madam Mayor. This is the offer from, and the version of the contract that is offered by Mr. Raker. He's got a lot of provisions in there. I presented him with our last version of this agreement that was presented to the prior city manager. He took that on, made whatever changes with a belief as to what is suitable for him. In his opinion, I think he understands that certain provisions may be subject to your interpretation and changes. And obviously, you're correct, Madam Mayor. I will take copious notes and I'll present back, upon council giving me authority to negotiate on his behalf, I'll present back your wishes and or to continue to negotiate with Mr. Raker concerning some of these terms. So I'll listen to your conversation, and I'll take direction from you, and we'll continue forward with Mr. Raker.
Okay, so assuming everyone has reviewed this document, let's just share thoughts and ideas. I'll start with you, Mr. Anderson. I don't know how you guys want to do this. Do you want to go through it section by section, or do you have a list of concerns you have that we will just kind of strike out as we go? Or people may find it perfectly agreeable and make it easy. But you are up first, Mr. Councilmember Anderson.
Price of having an A last name.
I mean, you can go last if you want.
All right. I guess the first thing I was kind of looking at was the severance package. Excuse me. Basically, a year's salary without cause and 6 months with cause. That seemed a little long to me. I know the city manager's employment by definition is a little less stable than average in the workplace, but it just seemed a little bit on the long side. So I was thinking for taking the 1 year down to maybe 6 months and the 6 months to 3 months. Just throwing that out there as a thought. I'm willing to listen to anyone else's perspective on that too.
Councilmember Sampson, do you have any comments for that?
I'd be okay with that.
You'd be okay with his revision or the original?
I'd do 6 months and 3 months.
How about you?
I'm fine with the way that it's proposed, but I'll go along with it.
I'm not fine with 1 year salary, and I know the idea of it is to protect this employee or whomever our next city manager is from this council or whatever council would come next due to the behavior that has transpired with recent city managers. But saying that, as much as I want someone to feel security in their employment, I feel we have the first and foremost, our responsibility as fiduciary responsibility of this community, and I don't think that would be wise by any stretch of the imagination, and I actually still think 6 months and 3 months is a considerable amount of time for someone who has maybe a 3-year contract. So I would like to propose maybe 4 months and 4 months for the long term, and I would say 2 for 4 without cause, 2 with cause is how I would say it, but I won't fight it if you guys are firm. So, any comments?
So 3 and 6 it is?
Okay, well,
I'm doing a vote item by item or just?
yeah, let's.
That was my question. What is appropriate here during this?
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot of votes if you do that, I presume, depending on the amount. I think if you give, and also obviously all this, your conversation that happens tonight will be subject to, your counter offer to his offer will be subject to his counter offer to your counter offer. As such, I would imagine, I'm marking down basically agreement as it comes along. I'll present sort of, that median, not the lowest common denominator, not the highest common denominator, but that probably may make sense. And maybe at the end, you say, we give you the authority to negotiate based on our conversation. I think that's how we've done it in the past, and probably for good reason. Entirely up to you as to how you do it, but you would just have a long conversation tonight otherwise. And you perhaps, if it gets to an item by item, you perhaps leave it for the next time it's presented to you, because you'll be a lot closer, I presume, as far as the agreement is concerned.
So we could do, you're trying to say between like 6 and 4 months?
Yeah, I mean, I think that period, with the two of you, saying 6 and 3, 1, 4, and 2, one original number, I think.
I can go agree with
6 and 3, yeah. And then you'd have some agreement there, so that 6 and 3 would make sense probably to go back to Mr. Raker with.
Would that be all right with you?
Sure.
All right. Okay. Let's do that then.
3 and 6 it is.
But I'd like you to go lower. I would like you to save our dollars best you can. I think that's what we should be doing. I want to provide a fair offer to someone, but I want it to be fair to us as well. So that was one item. The severance package. What other issues do you have, Mr. Anderson? Do you have any others?
I have none with the disability or the performance evaluation. Hours of work, I am curious. It talks about 40 hours. Is that like the basic amount, or is this not a salaried position? Because you also mentioned the next sentence that it is recognized the employee must devote a great deal of time outside the normal business hours. So how does that?
I think that's a term that was supplied by Mr. Raker. Obviously, in my agreements that I've prepared for the city manager on prior occasion, I haven't had such term defined as 40 hours. It makes no sense for the city manager of this city. Obviously, he is the CEO of the city. He has to devote whatever amount of time it takes. He's not bound to any set hours. He's not an hourly employee. So
Right.
I think if I have the sense of council correct, that certainly has been the sense of council before. If I have that sense correct, I'll go back with that understanding to Mr. Raker.
Okay.
So it says 40 hours here, and nothing in this contract should reflect 40 hours, as normal city employees have a 36-hour work week?
Correct.
So in terms of vacation, 36 hours, not 40. In terms of any PTO or whatever, like, those are based on hours, I guess, so that wouldn't count. But if we're talking vacation weeks are 36 hours based on, well, he'll be salary, so that's okay too. But I don't want to say 40 hours and then wind up with someone gets an extra week's vacation, because they really are only 36, because they're going to take that extra day. Even though they don't work the day, they'll be like, wait, I have another day. And so I want to make sure that it's fair for us that way as well. So 40 needs to come out, and then it needs to be some kind of a statement that says, this is a full-time position, and as an executive of our community, you'll be required to work whatever. I mean, he's a professional. We shouldn't have to spell it out too much, but it does need to spell out enough so that so we don't have that person who goes, I only have to put in 40, because there are those people out there as well. So that we'll leave that up to you to change the language on that, to eliminate the 40 and to make it more encompassing to the scope of the position. Mr. Anderson, anything else?
Item E, telework, it says employee shall have the right to telework on an as-needed basis. I guess that's kind of open-ended. It's my understanding to properly run the city hall, you need to be in the building. So
This was an item, Mr. Anderson, that on the prior contract, we had it. I removed it, and then Mr. Raker, in reviewing, indicated that, well, there may be opportunity, there may be a need, depending on, obviously, this takes into account Corona, the current pandemic, and that kind of situation. So I think in his thoughtful overview of the agreement, he opted to have something in there. If council gives me some, based on that statement, if there's some agreement with respect to that, I can obviously bolster that segment a little more to reflect, obviously, the reality of the wish of council, that obviously this is a position that happens by being at City Hall as opposed to otherwise.
I think we included it in our last contract, and it did not work in our favor to include it in our last contract. And of course, that was the timing of the world at that point. I think any good employer is going to allow people flexibility to do what they need to do to get the job done. And there'll be occasion when people can efficiently, effectively work outside of the office. I think for the purpose of this position, that a teleworking given the impression that teleworking is encouraged is not wise. We want people here. The face of our community needs to be here, right? It's the executive. They need to be on site as much as possible. And again, this is assuming that someone's going to take advantage. Most people don't take advantage, but at the same time, we need to cover ourselves and not make it look like it's something we're encouraging, because I don't think we want to encourage that. But we do want to be flexible. So, flexible organization will offer up flexibility as needed. It doesn't necessarily say these are the parameters that you can hold yourself to. And then if we say that, who's determining when it's convenient? Because then you have that issue. It may be convenient for the employee, and it's not necessarily convenient for the employer. And ultimately, it should be a great balance of both. Any comments, Councilman?
I think if we mention it, maybe word it to be somewhat hybrid, possibly that the expectation for those duties that need to be accomplished here are accomplished here, whatever that may be. But I do know that, the workplace environment has changed. There's a bit more flexibility regarding a hybrid location. And certainly I'm all in favor of, as long as you get the work done, I don't care where it is. As long as it's something that is appropriate to be done in the office here, then maybe that's the most appropriate place. But again, it needs to be some more language there, I guess.
For what it's worth, Councilmember Shepherd, and I think it's worth something, and I should mention it. In my conversation with Mr. Raker, considering timing and the amount of hours of work, his overall feeling was one of actual surprise that City Hall was only open Monday through Thursday, and his presumption was that he was going to be here, particularly as he's getting set up, 6-7 days a week. Those were his statements to me. So even though this is the statement that you see on this contract, obviously, his thoughts on the matter were a little more complex than just that one statement. So I agree with you. All will bolster that segment a little more to reflect council's wishes.
Okay.
Councilmember Anderson, do you have anything else?
Oh, yes. Okay, moving to section 8, outside activities. He mentions employees shall not spend more than 10 hours per week teaching, counseling, or other non-employer connected business without prior approval of the employer. I'm curious, we talked about the 40 hours, which in a 4-day week, I think maybe it's a 36 hour, 9 times 4. Is that 10 weeks going to come out of their normal workload? I mean, I have no issue with them spending time outside, teaching, counseling, whatever's required. But I guess I'd like to almost like that defined a little bit. I would think that he'd be spending 10 hours a week outside and 26 inside. I'd like a little more definition on how that would be. I mean, my attitude is he's a salaried employee. He's the manager of this city hall. He needs to have a flexible schedule. And if some of the teaching, counseling he needs to do needs to be during city hours, I'm open to that. Question is just, the 10 hours, does that represent taking away from the work he's doing here or not? So if we get some clarification.
Sure, and I think, that's a part of a sort of an overall conversation that occurs with respect to the position of the city manager, Councilmember Anderson, because obviously they have duties above and beyond sort of that, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever that is, whatever that translates to. And they come in, every other Tuesday or for other boards and other meetings that they have to. So he takes that into account, so I presume the answer to your question specifically is not that they would take the 10 hours strictly from that, but we can further define that so that there's no misunderstanding between, obviously, the parties, both council on the one end and then he on the other, so absolutely. Okay.
I would assume that means we're not paying for those 10 hours, or those are his personal comp hours or something, because I don't think we're going to encourage, community involvement, of course, but I believe when he interviewed, he told us he's involved in a few activities and he wanted to continue along. So those are personal goals to do this mentoring and teaching and counseling. So I have no problem with making his schedule available so that he can do those things, but it shouldn't be compensated by the city of Clawson. Anything else?
Yes, further in section A, city manager has the authority to delegate acting city manager authority at his discretion to the assistant city manager or department head when away for extended periods of time not to exceed 30 days. So I know he's a reservist. They may cause time away. When you're talking 30 days, that's something else. I'm just kind of curious what would create a 30-day or less time away. I know Scott's really enjoyed his time as the city manager and maybe looks forward to this delegation, but, just kind of wondering what if you could get that defined a little bit better as far as what would be anticipated, and the maximum.
Certainly, and I would have to speak with him with respect to that, obviously, to get more of a sense from Mr. Raker as to the meaning behind, that time. Certainly delegation occurs all the time for all sorts of reasons, vacations, whatever, but you're right, 30 days is a certain block of period of time. So we can, absolutely, I'll, by the time, next time we present it to council at the next meeting, we'll have that defined further based on my conversation with him.
Okay.
I'd like to include a comment that states with council approval.
I'm sorry, one more time?
I would like to have that include with council approval.
For
At
periods-
his discretion.
For any
with
period
council
extended.
Approval.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Anything else, Councilmember Anderson?
Just moving to section 9, just kind of looking together. They talk about various days of vacation, sick leave. Before you go farther with that, there's your typical 5-day week, and then there's the Clawson City Hall week of 4 days. So I'm assuming he's interpreting 25 days as being 25 actual City Hall days, which would not translate to, say, 5 days of vacation, actually, or 5 weeks, would translate to something more like 6. Is that?
I think that's a fair interpretation, yes. And I think, one thing that I should mention, because obviously this is going to come up with a lot of your concerns, Mr. Raker indicated that as part of his initial review of the position, he had looked into at the MERS website, which had listed as part of, on its website, we have nothing to do with that website, meaning the city doesn't. In that website, it listed the city as offering a defined benefit contribution, as opposed, and that's not, that's not something that we do as part of our compensation to our employees. But he proceeded with that erroneous information in pursuing the job and everything else. So, reflective in his, in his offer to this body, is that understanding and an attempt to balance the equities with respect to that. He sees that, and he's extended a few of these terms, perhaps above and beyond what I or council would of necessity approve or abide by. That said, I imagine he also understands and he's aware of the fact that there will be a counter, that not all these terms will be acceptable. And I presume, without knowing, but I presume thoughtfully that there may be room for negotiation and maneuvering there. And that may be, one of those terms that makes sense to do so.
Okay. So, all right, well then going from there.
Hold on, let's do the vacation thing. Do you have any comments on vacation, Councilmember Shepherd?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure I agree with the, was it the carryover from year to year? I think there should be a limitation to that, whether or not there's any carryover, and that it be exercised by a certain time. Certainly, certain things happen over the course of the year that may preclude somebody from taking all their vacation. They certainly allowed that right, but I would like to see it be completed by March 31st. So,
with respect to some of these terms as well, the employees, particularly with respect to the MERS terms, but vacation is one of them as well. The rest of the employees they're all in the same sort of plan, so to speak. So council could realistically state, follow that plan with respect to all MERS, with respect to vacation time, sick leave, sick bank, all those terms. And it would match everything else that everybody has.
That would be great if we knew what those things were.
I think I'm going to rely on Scott on that one.
Well, I mean, starting vacation time that's a whole different game in this contract, because he's the CEO of the city. So, as far as the unions go, you get 2 weeks after a year, and you build every 5 years, get another week. So obviously this isn't going to mirror the union contract, but the carryover is 240 hours a year. And then at that point, it rolls into your sick bank, and if your sick bank is maxed out, then you get paid out at 55%. But, that's currently what the employees have, and that usually comes into play about May or June. It's supposed to be used up by June 30th. Your banks are supposed to be down to that number. And every other year, there could be a buyout for a week or two to get you down to that number, but that's based on if it's budgeted and what the mayor and council approves.
okay, so that's an additional 3 months on top of what I had suggested. Is that what I'm hearing? Or?
Well, that's the way it's set up, and sick times carry over, I think.
I just don't want it to be indefinite.
It's 240. It's what across the board everybody else is, but
that's at your discretion what you
It's fair to
would like
make
to
it the
do.
same across the board.
You would just have to worry about what the starting bank would be, which obviously is going to be outside of what the typical union contracts are.
I personally would like to go with 3 weeks vacation to start. I think that's rather generous when you get 10 or 12 paid holidays, 8 paid sick days, and what else? I mean, I did the math on this. If he were to get everything he asked for, I know he's just asking, I don't blame him for asking. If he got everything he asked for, he'd be gone somewhere between a third and a quarter time of the year. And that would be great, that would be really great, but we need a city manager, right? We've proven that we need a city manager, so we want someone who's gonna be here. So I'm gonna request that we start at 3 weeks vacation, and that 3 weeks would be based on 36-hour work week. I have no problem with the 10 days unused vacation payout. I don't have a problem with that, that's not excessive, and at this rate, and given tenure of most city employees, you don't have the problem that you do with normal tenured employees where they have hundreds of hours on the bank all the time.
So how many days is that?
How many days is 3 weeks?
3 times 4, it makes, are we doing 3 times 4 makes 12, or?
Or 15? Because of the 40-hour reference before.
We're taking 40 hours out. We're going to the 36 that everyone else works based on what the city actually has. So that would be 12 vacation days, 3 weeks, 12 vacation days.
And our vacation's based on hours, so then you would do times 9, then that would be the start of his vacation bank would be 108 if that's where council, so it's not set by days, it's by hours.
Oh, so that's how we'll track.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know as
That's
far
how we
as-
would
as far as
translate
numbers.
the contract.
Yeah.
So we're talking 12 days times 9 hours?
9 hours.
Okay.
Any?
I don't know, currently, what I've been seeing is that new employees getting 3 weeks. So whatever that translates here, I think we need to be.
What I just said.
I know what I'm saying. So whether or not that, and again, I think it goes back to the calculation, just to make sure that, that's clear.
Yeah, I think you're agreeing that's reflective of how we would.
Yeah, because I mean, you go and walk in and say, what's the compensation for vacation? You're going to say 15 days, right off the bat, 3 weeks. And so as long as it's calculated off of that, that's fine.
Okay, any other comments about vacation, sick, and military? Oh, we gotta get to the,
We'd just begun.
let's keep going with this
Okay,
section.
sick leave, 5 days, that's pretty well standard in the industry. And then you can accumulate 1 a month, though, which I find is interesting. I know amongst government contracts, it's very common to be able to accumulate your sick days. So I guess, having never been in that environment, I'd never done that. In fact, I rarely ever took my 5 a year, so I guess I'm kind of open on that.
Is that in line with what everyone else gets in the community, in the city?
Again, starting is different. We start with 0, but it does accumulate one, and then there's a max you can, it's obviously set for someone has some sort of a long or short-term disability. You can build 600 hours of sick leave to cover yourself until long-term disability kicks in. So that's why that bank is set at 600, so you can accumulate one a month up until that amount. Once you're at that amount, you get paid out at the end of the year. Say if you're at 700, that 100 hours is paid at 55% to drop you back to that 600. But again, starting will be at the discretion of this council.
So typically you start at 0, but then you accumulate pretty much in line with what we're seeing here?
1 a month, that is correct.
So in other words, all we're doing is we're spotting in 5 days?
Correct.
Yeah, no.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
You're fine with that?
That's fine.
Okay. What's next? Councilman Reardon, you're leading the ship here.
Again, the A name seems to.
Started, might as well finish.
You're covering a lot of bases, so that's
Yeah.
really good.
So personal leave up to 8 days per fiscal year. I guess more than what I'm used to seeing. What are you seeing out there in general in the government, public
I don't want to seem like I'm negotiating against my future boss. All I'm doing is answering your question as
You're
to.
a taxpayer.
No, as
You
to
should,
what-
you should look out for yourself first. You're a taxpayer.
I'll tell you what we typically get, again, it is at your discretion. So, we get 40 hours a year, and it's prorated, so if he was to start, the officers that are starting now are prorated between now and June to get, a day and a half, or whatever the case may be, personal. July 1st, every employee in the city gets the 40-hour personal bank. That has to be used by June 30th, or that rolls into your vacation, and if your vacation is maxed, it rolls into sick leave, and then down the road from there.
Yeah, that's long ago when I was working in government. That's typical. I mean, it's changed a little bit since then, but yeah.
So we get 5.
Yeah.
All right, so he's looking for 8, and Rennis, I don't know if it's a typo or not, he said what he doesn't take, he can basically pay it at the rate of, is it 50 or 65%?
So in the initial contract that prior city manager had was 50. Mr. Raker has changed it to 65%. So one way or another, whichever council gives direction to, they will have to line up, obviously, sync up. His version did not.
Okay, so those are basically the two offers, not
Correct.
side by side.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
So in other words, versus the general employees, he's looking for 8 instead of 5.
Correct.
And he's looking for a payout for unused
65
at
is-
65%.
Correct.
I don't know, I'm,
And everyone else gets 50, is that what you just said? Sorry, I'm tired of it. I would like to go 5. My personal opinion is 5 days, 50%.
You're not gonna pay that.
Carries
I'm
over.
sorry, it carries over.
If you don't use it, typical, the contracted employees and actually the other non-union, if you don't use it, it goes into your vacation bank. You don't lose it, you don't lose those personal days, they go into your vacation bank. So if you have 3 left, those 24 hours, well, I guess if they're on 9 or 27 hours on the 9-hour days roll into vacation bank.
But your prior city manager was different than that.
Yeah,
Just so you
that's.
know.
Yeah, this one
I'm
says
just saying what
unused
the other employees.
shall not carry over
leave it at you.
per this contract.
so in essence, instead of rolling over it, say 65%,
You're paying them all.
or sorry, instead of paying on a 65%, you're rolling 100% over, but you could max out. Okay. What's the max out number for vacation? Has it been the past?
240,
240 hours or days?
240 hours.
Okay. So that's, all right, that'd be 5 weeks.
Let's look at D and explain that to us, please. The employee is entitled to 20 days paid military leave per year. So already, if I do the math on what we've said potentially, which would be 178 vacation hours, 12 sick days, 8 personal days, we're at 198 days paid off. And then, or sorry, hours, it's not days, it's 198 hours. No, I'm messing it up. I have days and hours combined, so my math is off, okay? So I've got to fix that, but still a considerable amount of time off. And then how does this 20 days paid military per year factor in?
I got to add on to that. This says pursuant to the state law.
Actually, it should be, yeah, that's
It's
not,
federal law.
that's not correct, correct.
Yeah, because he's not a
Correct.
National Guard.
That's right.
And it's probably should be 21, because AT orders come 7, 14, 21, 28.
Yeah.
So I would say go to 21, because that'll be 3 weeks AT. That's annual training.
Now, is that paid time off, or is that just authorized
Oh, yeah.
time off?
You have to give them the time off.
Right, but-
That's not even a call.
Right, exactly, and we have to hold his job, too.
This says entitled to 20 paid days. So when you do military training, aren't you paid by the military?
I can tell you how the reservist that works for me operates.
How do we do it?
Okay, so they can use vacation time to be away. The city has to grant them time, can't be
Yeah, but I
denied,
guess
that's law.
You can't stop them
Correct.
from going. That's
Correct.
a given.
But they can use their vacation time while they're away, so they get paid from the city, they also get paid from the military, that's their right. Or they can just be absent from the city unpaid and collect their military pay. But usually when people build up their vacation banks, it's for that reason, so they can keep their checks coming correctly from their workplace and then get their military pay. So that's how my reservist operates.
A lot of
currently.
corporations pay the difference
Correct.
from their military pay.
Yeah, and obviously it's council's choice as to what you opt out to do. This is just his
No,
wish.
The difference isn't that much.
I don't know that it's not that much, and if I'm looking at this much time, right? I know a lot of executives, I work with executives every day, nobody even gets to take time off, but we're giving someone lots of time potentially to take off, which we have to compensate them for all along the way. And I'm, again, for a fair contract, I'm for allowing someone to do the things that they need to do. I have no problem with allowing 20 military days per year and perhaps considering compensating him up, but I'd want to see those numbers in advance. I don't want to agree to that outside of that. And then saying that that's another 20 days someone's not performing here.
He's twice a citizen. It's totally different. He's serving us still in the military.
Yeah, those 20 or 21 days are protected days,
Yeah.
untouchable.
Yeah, I'm not fighting the
But are-
date. I'm not fighting the
21 paid,
time.
yeah, no,
I'm
I got
talking
you.
about the
Absolutely.
compensation.
I would say make the difference. In his ranking, we might not have any difference.
Is he paid by the day, I assume, when he's deployed? Is that correct?
I would say let's investigate this and then revisit it because we're just
You
speculating.
make so much money.
Yeah, I'm happy to take, that
Yeah.
portion of it. You don't have to finalize it, but I understand the statement and the feeling the council has with respect to this. We'll negotiate. By the time he shows up next time, it'll probably make a lot more sense, both with respect to his wishes as well as yours.
I don't want to see him lose any money because he's
But I don't think any of the four of you are saying that.
No.
I think you're all agreeing with respect to
So
it.
we should investigate what is the difference in pay between what he makes.
Correct.
as
I
a
think
manager
that's
and as
fair,
a
yeah.
reservist.
And you said he wrote that, ask him what it's 20, not 21,
Yeah, I will,
or
sir.
not 28.
I will.
Okay.
Councilmember Anderson, do you have anything else?
Under holidays, I didn't know we were doing Juneteenth here. Is that,
It's new.
I'd heard talk, is that a legit holiday here now in Clausen? Or in City Hall? Juneteenth?
I
Legit
think it's a
federal holiday?
federal holiday.
It's federal, I just didn't know. Said employees shall be entitled to all paid holidays per fiscal year as outlined in union contracts to include employees' birthday, Martin Luther King Day, and Juneteenth. I was just curious how many holidays we have here at City Hall.
Juneteenth is not listed on our
It
City
wasn't a
Hall.
holiday when this. Right. It wasn't a holiday when this last contract was approved.
Yeah.
So that's
Martin
why I
Luther
said that.
Sure.
King Jr. is a holiday.
Yes, that was,
recognized
but
by the city.
Juneteenth was only, I think, 18 months ago,
To
maybe.
cover the birthday, we typically get 9 hours floating holiday in the bank to cover the birthday.
So I know it's the discussion was new. Is it officially a holiday now, Juneteenth?
Yes, it's a federal holiday.
Okay, so it will be recognized in this package then? It's basically been added at this point.
The next set of contracts will probably all have it. It doesn't now. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is.
Just curious. So, and I think that was about it for me. So those are my questions.
Did you say that was it for you?
Yeah, for my
Okay, great.
questions.
Councilmember Sampson, do you have anything that we didn't cover in this portion?
Just in the compensation, anybody interested in making that 125 a different number, but putting the rest at risk in bonuses?
I don't understand that.
You take it down to 115 and then make 5,000 for each quarter as a bonus for performance.
We'd have to evaluate that
Yeah,
performance.
that's too
Our,
subjective. I personally don't like that.
Our evaluation is a 4-quarter evaluation.
So we're evaluating by quarter?
Yeah. It was 20.01.
Okay, that was something I didn't know.
Councilmember Shepherd,
I'll
comments?
send it to you.
That I was not aware, but I think the 125 is fair. I prefer to keep it at that.
No, 125 is fair.
Okay.
It just, making part base and part of it at risk, so you have to perform to get the rest of it. But I'm good at 125.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
good at
I-
125.
I'm not so sure I'd go down that road of, I'd rather keep it at the
All right,
125.
keep it like it is.
I agree.
Great. Anything else? Councilmember Sampson?
We've covered. We pretty much covered everything that I had.
Councilmember Shepherd?
Just on the retirement benefits. So we have, is there anything that's unique to item A?
Yes, but now I just lost my document. My sincere apologies. If I may just have a brief moment. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, so with respect to retirement benefits and MERS, I'll respectfully request that you allow me the ability to negotiate that portion of it with Mr. Raker, and have those, because MERS has certain specific rules. Per my conversation with the interim city manager, I think we've agreed that it's important to have Kelly Rao, our finance director, involved in that portion of it. Mr. Raker has requested, I think, a departure from the way they currently do it. I'm by no means an expert with respect to MERS and retirement benefits, but I think with the help of Ms. Rao, I think we could probably get something to council that makes a lot more sense perhaps than it currently, that we can make sense of it right now.
Do we need a motion for that?
I'm sorry?
Do we need a motion for that?
So I think, yeah, as I indicated earlier, when you're done with all your, we're taking all your comments, when you're done with all that, you indicate, that's our feeling, and we give you authority to go out there and negotiate with Mr. Raker. I'm going to be happy to obviously do so and collect, as part of that, authority that you're going to be granting, collect obviously the input from the interim city manager as well as the finance director.
Oh, I did have more.
Well, I just curious on how that works. So he's got 3% and then 3% match.
Correct.
Right?
So that's an upward departure.
Okay. The other thing too is vestment. Okay. All right. I'll trust you with that.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we did not discuss a contract term.
I got one more question.
Oh, okay.
I forgot it when I seen it. The employee is entitled to receive, it's up on military leave, receive pay for unused days.
I'm sorry, one more time, please, sir.
It'd be Section D, military leave and time, reserve time. The employee is entitled to receive pay for unused days at the cessation of employment upon his retirement from the Navy Reserve at 50% of the normal. What's that saying to us?
It's saying if he doesn't take these 21 days, he wants to be paid out for them.
Correct.
And I would say,
I think your prior.
but no.
Yeah, I think your prior statement gave us the guidance with respect to that,
Yeah.
as far as what we'll put on the counteroffer.
okay, so let's look at term. I would suggest we do a 3-year term on this contract, unless anyone has any other comments, suggestions?
What did he ask for?
I think 3-year actually was exactly what he asked for, so.
Go with that then. Oh, yeah, that was easy.
We agree with you. For the city manager.
That's a good sign.
Okay, so is there anything else we want to address on this? Are we good with the instructions that we've just given our city attorney?
We made it clear as mud.
Clear as mud, yes, thank you.
Someone like to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion, we
Authorize city attorney to
Authorize city
negotiate, with the appointed, with Mr. Raker concerning the balance of the contract.
You good?
Hear that, August? That's
Got it.
That's what I said.
Second.
Lou, next time you might just move your lips so we can pretend it's coming from you.
All right, let's do this. Go ahead, Brenda.
You got it.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, as we have no old unfinished business unless someone has some that I'm unaware of, we shall move on. Next item on the agenda would be public comment for items not on the agenda. Would anyone in the audience like to speak?
Hi, Karen Knutson, 1313 North Bywood. Some things that have come up online that have people upset. The condition of the Clausen Grill, when will that be remedied? And also the Burger King, when will something be done with that eyesore? You know, these are people like I talk to in many different groups between Facebook and Nextdoor. These are issues that people keep asking about, and we haven't seen or heard anything about what's happening. And as far as the city manager, can you guys put a stop so he couldn't like take, like say the 4th falls on Wednesday, so that's a holiday. So he couldn't take the Tuesday off before and then the holiday and then take the Thursday off. So he's got 5 days, 6 days that he will be paid for not being in the city doing city things. I know this trick because I used to do it when I had access to these things. We'd fight over who got the days before and after the holidays. But is there a way you can kind of clamp it so he can't use those days just to have longer time away?
I don't know if we'd want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we could. Employee's vacation, my opinion is an employee's vacation is their vacation, and as long as it doesn't affect the schedule or the work of the city, as long as work is being performed, then people get it, and it's usually a grab, right? Everyone can't have the time off because someone has to be here running.
I know that, but my point is, he would be getting far more vacation than what he's using. Like, it's kind of unfair when you see how many hours he's actually getting, which you got up to 200 or so, 190, right? And then you start throwing on vacation days and using personal time and stuff. I mean, he could be gone for a long time from the city and not really have any, have to report or if we need something, what do you do? He's the guy, he's the CEO. What do you do?
Well, I think we're going to just trust that he's going to be a professional and he's going to check in and ensure that the job is being done, right? He has other people. It's the job of the city manager is entrusting skills to other people, and micromanaging things like that. It's not the best way to encourage someone to come in. And I personally, I was a government employee at one time, so I had all this time off and all these days. And trust me, since I started interacting with Planning Commission, I used to make Jim Albus mad because I'd be like, I can't stand you guys. You get all this. You guys never have to work. Like, you have every time off, and you only work 4 days a week, right? So for those of us who don't have that schedule, which seems so optimal, we have a little bit of angst towards it.
Yeah, well, I've had it both ways, so, and yeah, it was fun when you could do it, but then when somebody else is stuck doing all the work while you're off having fun on 3 vacation days and gone for 2 weeks, it's not so fun.
Yeah, well, that's...
So do we have anything about the Clausen Grill or the Burger King?
We have to get back.
Yeah, we would have to get back with you, but there is a DDA meeting tomorrow morning, and I'd be happy to address those questions with the DDA for you, because those are definitely both within the DDA, and they're development issues, and properties aren't owned by the city, so we don't control them.
Yeah, but they're eyesores. They're blight.
Sure.
It's a problem. We've got rats in the city. Blight causes rats. It snowballs. And one of the things that's really come up is the owner of the Clausen Grill has gotten married, has had a new baby, and has not been even in the city or near here to get any work done. Or what's going on with him and the landlord. Nobody knows anything, but I'll tell you, there were an awful lot of mad people last night just about the Clausen City Grill. The Burger King is an old one. I mean, I've been here 21 years. Since it's been closed, people have been complaining. They don't want Burger King back, but they want something done.
I can
Thanks.
confirm, just to ease your mind a little bit, obviously, those are two addresses on the radar of code enforcement, and citations have been issued. It's a process, right? The issue could be a fine, and then as it progresses, it gets to the city attorney for possibly someone's in court, but those two have been addressed.
Okay.
And will continue to be addressed. It is just it's not an overnight process,
Well,
unfortunately, and I
it's-
agree. It's,
2
you know,
meetings
not
ago,
sure.
when Kevin McGinnis was here, and he said he got the house was gonna come down, that the other lady, so I told people online, go to the meetings and complain. That's the only way it gets done.
And that was a really long process, that house coming down. It was not a short process,
I told
just
them
for the
that.
record. Thank you, Karen.
Hi.
Hi.
Darlene McDaniel, 1021 West Elmwood. I have two questions. First, when is something going to be done about my street? I can't even use my snow blower at the end of my driveway because there's so many ruts. Penny Lubes told me in 2015 that it was going to be redone. Then in 16, I talked to her. She said they ran out of money. Last year, somebody from the DPW who was putting all the black stuff in the hole said, yep, it's going to be resurfaced. Well, it's terrible. Terrible. It's a fire route. Is there anything on the near future of even just resurfacing it? I mean, it doesn't have to be cement. Blacktop would make me happy. Self-reach to Main Street's beautiful, but self-reach to Crooks is awful, awful. No one?
Well, that's a DPW question. We can, Chief Sarvello, would you please follow up and see if there are any plans for that repair?
I can tell you that that's a high dollar replacement. I can tell you there's no plans right now. Obviously, it's in the capital improvement process of all the streets, the PACER study, evaluating all the streets, and that would obviously be one of them. But, as far as patching and cold patching, that's what they do, right? It's temporary, and right now, as it freezes and thaws, it comes up, and it creates a disaster. I agree with you.
And they all seem to be worse this year, don't they,
There's
in that
nothing
area?
as far as money to work on that street alone that I'm
Well,
aware of.
I come down Crooks, and I live between Langley and Shenandoah, and I have to go like this because I lost a tire in a pothole before, and I don't want to lose another one on my street. My second question is, and I did watch the city council meeting on YouTube regarding the water rates and stuff. My daughter lives in Troy. I have a good friend that lives in Royal Oak, and neither one of them pays 3 times the water rate in sewage. I have a question, why do we in Clawson? I tried a year ago to get a second line in the summertime for my sprinklers, and I was told that that's not available in Clawson. Now, we all know with any common sense, 50% of the water used in the summer waters your lawn and waters your flowers. Yet my last water bill, the sewage rate was 3 times what the water rate was. I just don't understand it.
If you call the DPW during the day, the clerk can probably give you a breakdown on your bills.
Well, I can see the breakdown on my bill. I have eyes.
Okay.
I don't understand why it's 3 times. 3 times. My water amount was $14. My sewage was $43 and change. That just doesn't make sense to me. I live by myself, so I don't use a lot of water. Thank God my bills are not enormous, but I don't understand why it's 3 times. My daughter lives in Troy. Her sewage rate's $1 less than her water rate per unit. And my girlfriend in Royal Oak, same thing. So I just don't understand why Clawson is so much more. And since I'm up here, I hope the city does something about the rats, because I've had them in my yard for 10 years. I have a personal friendship with Barbara. I had a trail, not this last snow, the snow before, because they come from my neighbor's yard, and she found where they went, right in their yard. I called her last week because the 30 days were up. They were sent a letter saying that they were going to have to do something about it. I don't think they have, and I haven't heard from Barbara. And it's a never-ending issue at my house, and I'm tired of it. I don't have anything in my yard that will attract them. I watch my daughter's dog. I go out with her. She's 5 pounds. When she poops, I clean it up immediately. I have nothing laying around, and their yard is a ghetto. and I put up a privacy fence, but that's where they're coming from. And I can show you the trail on my phone if you don't believe me. I mean, I woke up and went, are you kidding me? In 10 years, I've been dealing with it. 10 years. I'm so tired of it. They dig holes all around my deck. I have rocks every place they dug. I have a friend coming this summer. I'm going to dig down 8, 10 inches and put stone in there, something. I've got to stop it. I'm sick of it. I hate them. I'm terrified of them. I can kill spiders. I can kill anything else. But rats, oh my God. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for coming today.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening. My name is Sam Wall, and I'm here with State Senator Stephanie Chang. She was here earlier. She apologizes she had to leave. A quick introduction to say hello. Her current district represents Detroit and Downriver, and the new maps from the Redistricting Commission will go north through Madison Heights, including Clawson and Royal Oak and parts of Troy. And so she wanted to be here to learn, to meet all of you, and to learn some of the issues that are on your minds and what's going on in the city. So I wanted to thank you and also invite you to an upcoming meet and greet that we're going to have in Madison Heights on Saturday, February 19th at 3 o'clock at Meet Fresh Bubble Tea on John R. and 14. So we would love to see you there. Please feel free to ask me if you have any questions, want to get to know you, and thank you so much for a great meeting and a beautiful ceremony earlier with the officers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you email that to us that we can have flyers and put it up there?
Oh, yes.
It'd be great.
Yeah. Where should I email?
Our website has all of our emails. So
Okay.
It's really easy.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam, please relay roads, and infrastructure.
Yes.
Please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak this evening? Okay, so I was remiss. I received an email from a resident who's generally here, and this evening she had another meeting that she was running. So I'm just going to say the topics that she had were 4 items on the agenda, and I'm hoping she won't be really upset that I don't address them because I don't think any of them are super timely that we can't just address them again next week. So I apologize for not getting to that at the appropriate time, and I'm just going to kind of let that one go for right now. And then we're going to move on to the city attorney's report.
Mayor, just one brief item. I wanted to indicate that pursuant to council's guidance with respect to the rental unit topic, we have a meeting of that informal committee coming on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Obviously, based on what transpires, I'll make sure to report to council. Other than that, I didn't have anything else. Thank you.
Whom did you wind up getting to serve on that committee?
So I emailed everybody that had been on prior occasion. Everybody agreed, along with, I think, Ms. Erin Redmond. Everybody agreed, except for Ms. Phillips, who indicated that she was otherwise occupied with something else. I think, so that's that.
So then who is part of the committee then? You, Mr. Councilmember Sampson, and Ms. Redmond?
Ms. Redmond, and then, no. I'm sorry, Barb Chambers. I think obviously the chief will be there. Chief, right? I think that's fair. The chief will be there. But the committee will be, and of course, I think I speak for them, but even though I'm not a member of the committee, we're not members of the committee, we're administration in that sense. But I think, we'll take more participants, whomever wants to join us. I think it's an open invitation, so the more the merrier.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for our attorney?
Thank you.
I do. So I received my packet on Thursday, submitted by Nick, and in it was not this great letter that was precipitated by a request from Councilmember Sampson about having to do with discussion and participation during city council meetings. And great that you wrote this this piece that tells all about Robert's Rules of Order and appropriate order of meetings and being professional and all of those things. But I do have a bit of an issue that it wasn't submitted on time, and therefore was not included in the packet that was sent to us on Thursday. And I don't go back to, I don't go online looking for a revised packet on Monday or Tuesday to print to bring to these meetings. But of course, due to the content of this letter, it was brought to my attention by several people because it was a really nice schooling of all things. So I'm going to ask this: when was it submitted to the city manager's office for submission to council? Don't we have a deadline? Isn't the deadline before 4 o'clock on Thursday? And then, given that, let's just say it came after that because it wasn't included. When something is submitted late, shouldn't you, whomever's putting together the packet, the city manager's office, shouldn't that information be forwarded to city council so that we don't miss anything?
That is correct. I was at the office on Thursday, obviously, so I wasn't a part of it.
Well, it
I
didn't
don't
arrive
know
on
when-
Thursday, so.
When it was submitted and added to the packet.
Yeah, I can't speak as to that, but I can speak as to when it was sent. It was sent on Thursday sometime prior to 4 o'clock.
Because I do know that I was told
It
that
was
there
not
are
in the
other
original
items
packet,
coming, but it wasn't part of it, and it wasn't part of what was sent to us. So
I can speak
I
to
don't
that.
like, I don't care what's in here. Like, I'm not offended by anything that's in here, right? Robert's Rules of Order are Robert's Rules of Order. They are a guideline. We are supposed to follow them to the best of our ability. They are not, however, a hard and fast rule for anything. I've read lots of things, and I'm watching things online, and they all say that. It is a guideline. So we've tried to follow it as a guideline. I'm the first person to admit I'm not a strict, straight rule follower, sorry. Not that I'm opposed to rules, I'm not opposed to order. I like order, I just don't like go in line. I'm not like an engineer mind. So, which is good, because the engineers have their own mind, and then I have the crazy mind to go along with it to soften all of that up. But I was a little bit taken aback by a couple things, and I want to share that with you. So my real concern is, I've asked many questions from you, Mr. Nushai, over the years, and I've never had the answer to my responses included in a council packet for the whole world to see. So I'm curious, what was a determining factor to say, hey, let's make this public for the whole world, as opposed to just replying to Mr. Sampson and his inquiry?
I think it's an important topic, ma'am.
So you determined that it was an important topic. Of
course.
How much did it cost us for you to draft this for us?
Zero. It's already a part of your retainer to my office.
Oh, because it has, you put legalese in here, so I'm assuming that that would just be homework and that it might not be included. So I just wanted to confirm that we weren't paying extra for that. And at the same time, the rules that you ask us to follow, or hold us to follow, I just have to do a quote on a couple things because it's really important. There are comments about maintaining decorum and how the residents of Clawson deserve better. And all those statements are true, 100% true, but they're true not just from me, because I know I was the reason for this fight, but they're true for everyone here. It states that, well, not egregious, our behavior has been less than exemplary, and the people of the city of Clawson deserve to have their government conduct their meetings with dignity and decorum. Engaging attendees from the dais throughout the meeting and soliciting comments, applause, and similar contributions disrupts the flow of the proceedings and hampers the administration of the legislative affairs that the council engages in. It is my sincere hope that the council will, as it has since time immemorable, agree and conduct itself with the dignity it deserves and be even more circumspect in the way it engages with the public. While I appreciate all of that, dignity is required from everyone here, which includes not laughing during public comments when you don't like what people are saying, not flailing body parts and trying to interrupt and ask someone to not do something because they're not happy with what's going on. People took onus at me questioning the audience when we were discussing the millage. We were having a kind of good debate about the millage, and there were a lot of people here, and I specifically said, raise your hand if. That's not a vote. That is not any way imparting a change in how someone can vote, but it did present an immediate picture of people who pay taxes and are active in our government, who take time out to show up, and it gave a picture of what they would want. And that is 100% valid. And that is 100% useful, and that's what our public is for. So I appreciate your comments, but it is my sincere hope that this said participation continues and expands, just as you say, and that the engagement of Clawson is a necessity for the city's success to be and remain inevitable, right? But the respect is from you, from all of us. It is not me that is beholden to follow rules to make everyone else happy. I'm trying to engage the public, and I'm not apologizing for it. I will take the hits every day, all day. I'm fine with it. But if you have something for me, I would appreciate you to present it to me and not hide it in an agenda for me to find or not find for a meeting. And with that, I have nothing else to add. So the next thing on the agenda will be city council comments. If anyone has any. Councilmember Anderson, do you have any comments?
No.
Thank you. Councilmember Sampson. No. Councilmember Shepherd.
Just a couple things. I saw that one of our new restaurants, if I'm not pronouncing it right, forgive me, but Sozai was recognized in the Detroit Free Press as their Restaurant of the Year. Congratulations to them. Not had a chance to get over there, truthfully, but hopefully that's not indicative of how they're doing. It looks like they take reservations at 5:03 from the article. The other couple other items, I want to congratulate Kelly Horn for conducting another great Junior Trojan basketball season. Having missed last year and pulling this together, she does a remarkable job. All things considered, my team did not win the championship, but that's regardless of how well she does her league and the training beforehand and the summer camp. So I commend her on that. The other thing is on new districts. Do we have anything?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not changing precincts or anything like that here.
Even with the changes with state senate and
we'll send out the new numbers.
Okay.
But it's as far as changing our boundaries of our precincts in town, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Everyone will be getting new voter ID cards, though. We're aware of that. That's coming.
And I think that's it. Thank you.
Great, thanks. So the library has upcoming activities. Wednesday afternoon book club is taking place via Zoom on the 16th. They're reading The Perfect Horse by Elizabeth Letts. They have a yoga for all ages in the library. Bring your mat or use a chair and join Marilyn Bird for a free basic yoga class designed for all ages and skill levels. The only reason I'm laughing is because I'm thinking of myself doing that, and that's not happening. Class size is limited, and it's Monday, February 28th from 6:30 to 7:30. There is a chapter chat, which I just lost. Sorry. Okay, chapter chat. Join us on the fourth Wednesday of the month from 4 to 4:45 to discuss a well-loved children's chapter book or a graphic novel. This intergenerational book club is suitable for readers ages 8 to adult. Wednesday, February 16th, The Cardboard Kingdom by Chad Sell will be presented. They're meeting a week early due to midwinter break. And Jenny says, thanks for thinking of us. So we always want to support our library where we can and appreciate all the hard work that they do. And there's also new stuff at the museum. So if you haven't been there in a while, maybe go over there and say hello and see what we've got. I want to tell everyone thank you for all that you do. Thanks for everyone who showed up today. For those who aren't here, the normal faces, where are you? We missed you. And those at home, if anyone's interested in serving on a board or commission, we do have a few vacancies. If you'd like to do that, shoot me an email. And then I would like to call for a meeting with our city attorney just for a general review and conversation within the next week or two, if people can schedule a time for that. Anybody?
Pick it, tell us to be here.
I don't have everyone's calendar, so I can't pick a day.
We've got midwinter break coming up, so I'll be probably not available next week.
You get to go on break?
Well, not really.
I mean, if you're home, that doesn't count. You can still do it. Okay, so let's
That's
go.
not the plan is not to be here.
All right. Mr. Newshire, give us a date, please, that will work for you.
What kind of meeting are we having, ma'am?
We're going to just have a meeting with you to discuss council-attorney relationships. Let's call it a review.
Okay. Any day. I'm available anytime, whenever you wish.
Anybody? Okay, a week from Wednesday, 7 PM?
Well, you
I'm not going to be here.
won't be here.
All right, 2 weeks from Wednesday at 7 PM?
What's that date?
I don't know. He's the one with the calendar. I'm relying on August. He knows everything.
So the 16th is tomorrow, the 23rd would be a week, it'd be March 2nd.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Which would be a day after our normal.
We have a regular meeting on the 1st.
I mean, we can do it before or after, if someone would prefer.
Let's do it before.
Let's do it after. Befores are hard. I don't even want to pretend I'll be there before. It's really hard for me to get here early. And we probably want an hour. So that would be earlier. So how about after, on March 2nd?
Always.
March 1st, after?
Yeah, that can be done, and I do believe that, is that something that goes into closed session or not?
If it's a review, yes.
If it's a review, yes, so that can be added on.
Okay. Fine?
I think it's at the request, right, of one or more of the parties.
We'll just put it as part of the agenda and go on a closed session.
Okay.
It's fine.
Thank you. Let's do that.
We'll add that.
So that will be March 1st, following the meeting. Okay. With that, I have nothing else. I will call for adjournment.
You have to have a
adjourn.
vote on that, Madam Mayor.
Pardon me?
You have to have a vote on that.
Oh, sorry.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
We have the city
No, we have
manager's
to vote
report,
on-
too.
Pardon me?
Was the city manager's report
You
scheduled?
have to have
Did I
a
skip
vote
you?
in order to go into a meeting of a review with the city attorney.
I stand corrected.
4 votes are needed for that, since we're going to go to closed session.
I'll withhold my motion.
Okay. I make a motion that we hold a meeting on March 1st following the regular city council meeting to have a review of our city attorney.
Closed meeting, closed session.
Huh?
Make a motion to make a closed session.
In closed session.
Have it.
Will anyone support it?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Shepherd?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
So we'll schedule that closed session for March 1st.
Thank you. Now, I'm sorry, Chief Sarbello, I forgot you for a report, because I heard you talk before. I thought we'd already heard you talk.
And I agree with you, Madam Mayor. Plenty of input tonight, and I will pass on additional.
Thank you. Then
Motion to adjourn?
will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd?
Yes.
Adjourned at
This meeting is
9:23.
adjourned.